Hello and welcome back to CBR MTG. We are in round 2 of the top 8 of our Cancon Modern Event. We played this on Australia Day, and we had a bunch of people show up to play some Modern, and we are down to the final, with the semi-finals, with Aaron Cornish on Burn and Robert Hyung on Eldrazi and Taxes. We also have with us Jake Sims.
Hey guys.
And Aaron Cornish himself.
Hey.
Hello.
Aaron, we've seen your deck before on CBR MTG, but why don't you walk us through it? What does Burn do?
It hurts the opponent very quickly. It's just a super aggressive bully.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And we're seeing on the same sort of aspect, the Eldrazi and Taxes list. Definitely using our Thalias and both Thalias, if I'm not mistaken, Flicker Wisp and some Leon Arbiters for that taxing effect. But we're also playing Eldrazi Displacer, and we're going to be playing some Thought Knot Seers and a little bit of Tidehole Scholar as well. So using the sort of best of both worlds, where we're playing Death and Taxes, but we're just going to play some bigger creatures as well, I think.
Speed up the clock.
Hell yeah.
Eighth of Vial on turn 1 is exactly where Robert wants to be. This gets around any Eidolon shenanigans.
Nonsense, yeah.
Yep. And it obviously threatens to instant speed creature.
Well, you know the saying, turn 1 vial makes me smile.
That's it.
That's it. We're seeing a slightly less impactful turn 1 on your hand with the Rift Bolt. I mean, it still does everything that you want it to do. It deals 3 damage to target opponent, which is one of the best cards in Burn. Now, with usual Burn lists, it's Naya, as you can see by that Stomping Ground. But we have no green mana main board, and we have a little bit of green mana in the sideboard. What's your thought processes for just going Boros in this case?
It keeps the deck well and truly streamlined. I've seen versions that have Ataka's command main, and I just don't think the card's good enough to cripple the mana base.
Sure.
Like in this instance, I was lucky enough to have a Stomping Ground in my opening hand, and then I'll fetch a Sacred Foundry here.
Yeah.
But doing that every game, like,
makes it a little bit harder.
And taking 6 to have both or all 3 colors of mana up is not that good.
We only see 2 Stomping Grounds on your side, and if I'm not mistaken, just the Destructive Revelry in the sideboard against artifact-based matchups.
Yes.
So besides that, it's mono, deal 3 damage to target player.
2.
Deal 2 damage or 3 damage. Oh yeah, sorry, but I mean the rest of the spells in your deck is very much 3 damage to target player.
Yeah.
On the topic of fetch lands and choc lands, Robert has wisely gone for 0 fetch lands and only 2 Godless Shrines. Seeing the value in the courtyards and untap black-white sources like the Cavern, which is on the battlefield right now. He's able to maneuver around, dealing himself some damage, which obviously helps you out.
It also turns. It's not a nombo with Leon Arbiter, which is a recurring thing in Death and Taxes, where they don't want to play any fetches because if they have Leon Arbiter on the battlefield, they have to pay 2 for their own fetches, and I don't think they really want to do that. So we're seeing on Robert's side, we've got the Cave, as you mentioned before, and some Eldrazi. What's the Eldrazi? The Temple, just to power up that Reality Smasher.
Or a turn 2 Thought Knot.
Or turn 2 Thought Knot, yeah, exactly. So, besides the Reality Smasher, most of the Eldrazi cards are still very much taxing, if you want to think about it like that. With the Wasteland Strangler killing some creatures, and the Thought Knot Seer, as we know, taking a card out of your opponent's hand, it definitely synergizes quite well with that Death and Taxes plan.
I'm a bit confused as to why Robert didn't put in Thought Knot Seer last turn. He had the Temple plus two other lands, and just opted not to play Thought Knot Seer, which I think is interesting because he's not threatening any instant speed like Dismember. Like, he has the Path to Exiles, but that's just not where you want to be. Just trying to take out a Swift Spear or something like that. You just want a big threat that is very hard for Aaron to answer.
Well, I mean, you are representing Dismember. Not that it truly matters, but you could be doing that. I think Thought Knot Seer at this point is just probably a better better as a 4/4 than it is as a take a card out of your hand. Because although taking card out of the hand is very good, all the cards in your hand do the exact same thing. So it's not too relevant. But
Speaking of the Thought Knot,
speaking of which, maybe he's just setting himself up so he can do it with the Vial. I mean, I kind of like Vial on 3, that the Flicker Wisp, but maybe in this matchup it's just not as relevant. We're not bouncing too many things. Leon Arbiter also a 2-drop, so putting the Vial on 4 is definitely very aggressive.
Yeah, especially with cards like Wasteland Strangler and the Flicker Wisp. You've just got so many much more live draws, and New Thalia. You've got so many more live draws on 3. Taking up to 4 only makes it so that Thought Knots here can pop out of this eighth of Vial.
We're seeing a good line from Aaron's hand where keeping his information hidden until the very last moment, because now the Thought Knots here is only a 4/4 because you were able to Boros Charm and then Skullcrack, if I'm not mistaken. So he essentially just looked at your land. But he's on 1 life now, so yeah.
I think the way these two decks are built and the way they perform is the way he played that turn was setting up for lethal a turn after.
Yeah.
And he knew that I would also be going for lethal the turn after as well. The two decks don't mess around.
Yeah, absolutely. What have we got coming out of the sideboards in this time?
All right, let's look at Robert first. He's got a Blessed Alliance, 2 Burden Forge Tender, 2 Disenchant, 1 Inquisition of Kozilek, 1 Core Firewalker, 3 Rest in Peace, 2 Sony Silence, 2 Thoughtseize, 1 Zealous Persecution. The obviously includes the Blessed Alliance, the Forge Tenders, and the Core Firewalker. Very problematic for Burn to deal with. You could make a small argument for the Inquisition, try and get it in early to get any burn, like Boros Charm or Eidolon, something good out of their hands. Definitely not Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
Persecution is not big enough to hit anything like the Eidolon or the Swift Spear. And disenchant unless if you're very scared of maybe the Eidolon or that what's that artifact that they're playing now? Whenever you play a red spell or
the Shrine of Burning Rage.
That's the one.
Yeah.
If he's
played in some ones, but I think because he's up a game, he can probably stand to not play those disenchants just in case.
Indeed.
He is playing those paths, which will take out the Eidolon, but I don't think Eidolon's too much of an issue for him, considering...
if he has that Vial, then he's laughing around
Exactly.
Eidolon. Looking at your sideboard, Aaron, we've got 3 Path to Exiles, 3 Destructive Revelry, 2 Core Firewalkers, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Deflecting Palm, 2 Stony Silence, and an Exquisite Firecrust. What do you bring in here?
I can't remember exactly what I brought in here because my sideboarding for taxes list change per player.
Yeah.
But I think I bring in 2 Deflecting Palm.
Yep.
And at least 2 Paths, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And 1 or 2 Destructive Revelry.
Okay.
Just want to hit that Vial, and it also hits Tide Hollow Scholar.
That's true, and getting that Tide Hollow Scholar early to get back your burn spell is like not irrelevant at all, you know. It's at least a good thing about Destructive Revelry is also deals damage to face, which is like what you want to be doing in this matchup, definitely. So it's not even really like a it's not really ever going to be a dead card in your hand, because you can always hold it up for any Ether Vials coming down, but that Ether Vial could be very bad news for you.
Yeah, the Ether Vial is it's really hard. When I have an Eidolon down on the battlefield and a late Ether Vial turns up, I just I get sad.
Yeah. We're seeing we're definitely going to bring in the Core Firewalker on Robert's side, but there is a case for bringing the Barrington Forge Tender. I mean, it blocks forever, but I think that's probably just exclusively for Storm, just preventing any gut shot damage.
Forge Tender comes in for just being able to, if Aaron has a 4-mana up and like if you're predicting like a Boros Charmer and a Skullcrack in the same turn, then just having the Forge Tender limits him to playing 1 and try and bait out the activation of it, and having protection for red, meaning he can block every single one of Aaron's creatures, is very relevant.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I didn't play a creature that game.
That's true. You might be on the creatureless version of Burn, which is very unlikely, but
Would be cheaper.
it would be cheaper. We see also a line that Aaron's very aware of from our games together, but Skullcrack actually prevents the protection from red from going anywhere. So if he's because it says damage can't be prevented this turn, it means that the way that protection is worded just says damage by the chosen source is prevented, and then Skullcrack says no. So you could catch him off guard by I guess not actually, because it does have the protection from red as well. You block and then do the thing. Yeah,
no, I don't block. I bait with an attack and force them to block.
Okay.
I did it 2 times over this tournament through other opponents.
Great. Having them have Skullcrack explained to them is always a rewarding experience.
Yeah, we had to get a judge for one of them.
I can imagine. We see also you rocking the very stylish CBR MTG shirt. Goes very well with the playmat that's on the battlefield as well.
It was a good day.
It was a good day. It was a good
to
day
represent.
Yeah, exactly. Making it all the way to the semi-finals as we see you in now. Coming into the second game, you've elected to mulligan, I believe, to 6.
Yep.
We seem to like this hand of 6, so we're going to keep the scry on top. Robert's got the Tidehollow Sculler, at least for I mentioned before, and the combo. It kind of combos a little bit with Wasteland Strangler, because Wasteland Strangler is a processor, which is a sub-type of creature where it has the ability of take a card from your opponent's exile and put it into their graveyard, then do a thing. And that thing for Wasteland Strangler is give target creature -2/-2. -3/-3.
Yep.
So that is...
Deals with everything in my deck.
Yeah. And this is just such a perfect hand from Robert. Like, this is going to be hard for you to come back from, because he's got the turn 1 Aether Vial, he's going to have the turn 2 Tidehollow Sculler, and then the turn 3 Wasteland Strangler, and by that time...
I have the turn 2 Revelry.
There we go.
With a Prowess trigger.
Yeah, definitely Monastery Swiftspear giving you the option to play all your instant speed spells at sorcery speed.
Yeah, it's
just to
good.
just to get in that little bit of extra damage. He will have that continued line, as we mentioned before, but it's definitely not as good without that Aether Vial on the battlefield.
I can't remember in his hand if he had an amount of land that was allowing him to flow through this turn.
Yeah, sure.
Well, no, we have Leonardo Arbiter.
It is Cat Jesus.
It is Cat Jesus.
So it appears he doesn't have that the black or white mana to be able to play that Tidehollow Sculler, but that's totally fine. We're gonna. It looks like we're gonna trade for this Leon Arbiter, so hopefully he has a backup in hand, which I think he does. But I would honestly not be too unhappy to soak up that 2 points of damage, because every turn is relevant, you know.
And he's missed a land drop, so all he can do is play another Cat Jesus and just put him on chump blocking duties, just like last turn.
Yeah. He might be less inclined to do it this time, because
the Ghost Quarter on the battlefield if he draws another land.
Yeah. It seems that you're doing the same line as before, where you bait him into blocking and then playing the spell, so he's going to take 3 life, you're going to gain 3 life, and then you're going to have Prowess Trigger on top of that. So Robert's in a pretty bad position at this point. That land, missing all those land drops has been pretty bad for him.
That Inquisition did come in, and we have taken a Skullcracker out of you. That's kind of good, because, that's stopping 5 points of damage, putting you in bold range next turn. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this was
Once again, we see your deck at a point where you just need to flip over a card and for it to be a burn spell.
Yeah.
But at least you're in a little bit better stead now.
Oh, it takes more than one reality smash a hit to kill me here.
Yeah, which is completely relevant. Now this Aether Vial is probably going to tick up. It's just going to flow through normally, ticking up to 2 and then probably to 3, and then if you can get a Flicker Wisp, then he'd probably be in pretty good stead. But it looks like at this point he doesn't want to get any value off the Tidehollow Scholar, realizing that being a turn or 2 behind is just not good enough. So he's just gonna elect to block with this 3/2. You playing the same line 3 times in a row, but
it burns a linear deck.
Yeah. But at least you killed 3 of his creatures and was able to put 8 or 9 damage to his face in the time being. So
This is the point of Burn that I both love and hate, where I need to reveal a 3 damage card or not win.
yeah,
And
Thalia would have been great on turn 2.
Thalia would have been fantastic
Yeah.
turn 2.
You have sort of flooded, so you can play around it. But yeah.
the Tidehole Scholar and the draw steps, like, I understand the line, but I mean, you just played in response. If it was an instant speed burn spell.
Yeah. He was hoping to catch either a Lava Spike or a Rift Bolt.
Sure. Get any of that sorcery speed action.
Because if it was a Bolt, I would have just shown it on the top of my library.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah, as we mentioned before, you're similar to game 1, where you are a slave to the top card of your deck for each draw step.
every game I play with this deck is like that.
So see if this next card is relevant. You do have a lot of live draws, thankfully. This one being particularly relevant, the Skullcrack. Paying 1 extra for it dutifully. So we're going to go into game 3 very quickly. Only as usual for Burn, we're 15 minutes in, and we're already on to game 3. Probably like not too unhappy being in the semifinals to like play a quick deck, you know. So like you were able to like go outside, collect yourself each round, you know. Like you're not playing a deck that goes to time every round. You're able to sort of compose yourself, and that probably gave you a bit of an edge against. I mean, we saw two Jeskai Geist decks in the top 8. But they would be having to work a whole lot harder for their wins.
I have the advantage of finishing a game. There's like half an hour on the clock, sometimes 40 minutes. I get to go outside. I get to shake off everything that's happened in the last 10 minutes. And enter each game fresh. Whether it's
absolutely.
a win or a loss, I never let previous experiences influence a game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, you get to go on a little scouting mission, just get a feel of the room. Like information is powerful in this game. So,
absolutely.
And the other thing too, versing Robert, he was probably one of my best opponents all night. We're in the top 4, and you can't hear us here, but we're telling jokes and laughing, and was a completely different experience for me.
Yeah, exactly. And that just like changes it, you know. Like I was watching another friend of mine, Simon, and he was in the finals of a PPTQ, a modern PPTQ, and it was like very tense, you know. Everything was very tense, and like before they started the match, it was just like, what's your favorite action movie? And I've like never forgotten that, because it was like, it started off as a conversation, and then they were able to like riff off each other and just like have a good time. And it, like, I mean, it goes against what is like a heavily competitive game when it comes down to it. It like, it lets people like calm down and just enjoy it for what it is, you know.
Yeah. And we had a blast.
Yeah. And
regardless of the outcome too.
Yeah, and you're a great player for that as well. Kudos to you for that.
Oh, thank you.
We're seeing a pretty good 7 coming out of your side. There's the Eidolon, and I think you've got the 1-drop as well, so we can go 1-drop, 2-drop, and then probably I think even the Skullcrack as well. You're a little bit flooded, so hopefully we won't be getting any more land drops for the rest of the game, but we will have to wait and see.
You did call the 1-drop, 2-drop correctly.
Yeah, there we go. So you got the Lava Spike, and you being on the draw is like actually not irrelevant for you as well. Like, it is a very like both all 3 games will probably come down to 1 turn.
Yes.
You know, but you being on the draw, at least you're able to like go definitely get a 1-drop. Almost certainly get 2 1-drops or a 2-drop, and then just like curve out perfectly like that. And like having the draw really sort of helps you out with that.
Yes.
And an early Eidolon definitely helping you out a lot.
An early Thalia is also a beating.
I'm also seeing a Eldrazi Displacer in Robert's hand, which is interesting. I thought it would be too slow for this kind of matchup. Like the Crusaders obviously come out. But yeah, he's obviously just valuing the blink effect, trying to maybe save a Thalia from death. And the Thought Knots here, little interaction is real sweet.
I mean, we're playing 3 Flicker Wisps out of the board. I think probably like I don't know. He's playing 2 Mirren Crusaders as well, possibly expecting like a lot of Jund in the room, which is unfortunate because there was only 1.
Yep.
But I think he's got a lot more dead cards than Flicker Wisp. Like, Eldrazi Displacer, even though it's not great. It definitely blocks, which is relevant as well. Sorry, for Eldrazi displaces.
But it does get hit by Eidolon.
It does get hit by Eidolon.
Thought not so much.
Exactly. So thought not exiling that lightning bolt instead of thingy. Yep, we're realizing that. Good. Yeah, look, I poo-pooed it before, the thought not being not as good, but I mean, it's essentially make a 4-drop, gain 3 life, which is like not irrelevant in this matchup at all.
And if you do it on turn 3 or turn 2, depending on the luck of the deck, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being able to power out those Eldrazi with the Eldrazi Temple, like, completely relevant. And we're seeing a pretty aggressive line from you.
I'm trying to bait a block.
Trying to bait a block, yeah. He might just be inclined to take it because it means that you're... it means that you'll be tapped out and he'll be able to swing for 6 next turn. So really sort of playing around what type of player you think Robert is. Because if Robert was a worse player, he'd go, easy, block this, but then it would die. You know, so it's definitely more relevant to test the waters, I think. We might not see another Eidolon attack for the rest of the game, but at least you're able to test the waters and find out what type of player Robert is.
This is really sweet. The Eldrazi, the Wasteland Strangler, and because Thornot's exiled the Lightning Bolt when he took it from your hand, that means that he's going to be able to process it, put it in the graveyard, and ping the Eidolon for -3/-3, clearing your board. This is pretty big because you can't effectively kill this Thornot's outside that 1 Exquisite Firecraft without 2 for 1ing yourself.
In this situation, I was both happy and sad to see the Eidolon gone. Sad because I don't have a blocker, but happy because now I don't take damage for any of my spells. And
also, he took 2 for the privilege, right?
Yeah,
Wasteland Strangler.
Yeah, take 2, kill a dude.
Yeah.
That felt pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, also like it's you got that free benefit for swinging with the Eidolon, which was incidental at the time because, as we mentioned before, like it might not have been the best line for him to block, so he's just definitely not gonna. I guess though. So you're getting in that free damage, but he's playing this Wasteland Strangler. Like at least you got the 2 damage from swinging with the Eidolon, which is definitely relevant.
Yeah. And with that play there, needed to get rid of Thalia to now empty my hand.
Yeah. It looks like you're in a pretty good position. Like, I mean, he does have what is 7 power on board, putting you at a 2-turn clock. But once again, we're going to see you in a position where you're just going to have to play off the top of your deck and like hope for the best. But this 9 damage total, putting him to 4, I think. So it's going to be a hard slog getting out, but it's not impossible.
One of the things that I like to do with Burn is leave things to the very last second, like now.
This is definitely makes it more relevant. Is there any like thought to killing the Wasteland Strangler? I know it kind of goes against your plan to always go for face and never block, but it's kind of looking a bit dire now.
In this situation, I think when I was doing the math, I was 1 burn spell off killing him.
Yep.
So I was basically leaving it down to luck. I think I aimed both this bolt and skullcrack at his face.
Yep.
Putting him on 7, leaving him dead to at least 28 cards left.
Yeah,
in my deck.
yeah. You got a whole lot of live draws. So we're just gonna play out this hand as you mentioned before. Just perfect amount of mana. Thank God that Thalia's gone.
Yes.
We're gonna skullcrack and we're gonna bolt, and then Tidehole Sculler gets 0 value, just a 2/2. But next turn he will be able to swing for lethal, so it's up to the top of your deck. What do we got a live draws? Is it Boros Charm?
Boros Charm is
Boros
the only 4-mana burn spell.
Alright, well, still a live draw.
Still a live draw. It's there.
Because you haven't cast any yet. You've got 4 in your library still.
Yeah.
So this is very real.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I mean, we're just gonna play out another threat, but it doesn't matter at this point, right? Like he's got lethal on board. You have to reveal a card. That card is 3 damage instead of 4, coming down to a single life point separating that game.
And that was my most fun matchup of the day.
Yeah, that's great. And see, as I said before, if you had 1 more turn, you would have killed him.
Yeah.
You know, it was like so close.
Or a Boros Charm.
Yeah, or that Boros Charm that was in the top 7 cards of your library.
If that was my opening hand, I'd be sweet, right?
Yeah. So congratulations to Robert Hung. He's going to go down to the finals versus Sean Doherty on Jeskai Geist. Please stick around to watch that finals. Congratulations, Aaron, on going all the way to the semi-finals.
Thank you very much.
I believe you walked away with a masterpiece Trinisphere for your troubles on this.
I did.
That is, yep.
Any
Hardware
plans
well
on,
spent.
Yeah. Any plans on what we're putting the Trinisphere in?
The only other deck I run is Lantern. That,
Easy.
and that doesn't like Trinisphere.
Time to change the format.
Yeah.
So congratulations to both players for a fun and interactive game of Magic, coming down to a single turn. As I said before, please stick around for our finals, and we will see you then. Thanks, guys.